Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Lots of talk today about outgoings, certainly at the under-23 level. We will come to that just in a moment. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball app makes it easier to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats in one place. To download the app, click the link in the description. Let's get into it. We spoke about last week about Batshuayi, the Chelsea forward who was on loan at Valencia. He came back to Chelsea, and there was a lot of talk that he could possibly come to Everton. That there was certainly interest in him. Now, it's a player that we'd have to buy on a permanent deal because obviously we've got Zuma in our side, obviously on loan from Chelsea. Then it looked like Monaco were going to take him on loan, and possibly Monaco still might take him on loan. But there's reports in France that that deal isn't going ahead just yet because Chelsea are aware that Everton are still interested in bringing him in. Now, obviously, Chelsea looks like they'd obviously like to sell the player. They don't really see a future for the player, and probably don't want to continually loan him out. And obviously, if Everton want to buy him or have shown interest in buying him, then with a couple of weeks left of the window, they're probably willing to hold off just for the time being. If Everton are interested, obviously that will depend on if Everton can get rid of Oumar Niasse or possibly Cenk Tosun. Now, Cenk Tosun has spoken to a Turkish newspaper, apparently, and said that he's very happy at Everton. He wants to fight for his place, and that the Evertonians love him. And if you've seen Zuma's goal on Sunday, which obviously we all did, Cenk Tosun was warming up on the sideline, and you've seen his reaction to the goal. You can certainly see that he obviously loves playing for this team and being at the club at the moment. He celebrated wildly. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see whether that interest comes to fruition. But I think, as I said, it all comes down to whether Everton can get a player out. I imagine that Everton, if they could, would loan Batshuayi, bring him in on a loan. But with Zuma, it's seemingly going to wait till the end of the season before looking at his future. I imagine that's not going to be the case. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But that's reports in France anyway. It looks like Everton will be playing their last game of the season at Wembley. Now, I know that's all fans hope for when at the start of the season, that you play your last game at Wembley. But it looks like if it's not in the FA Cup final, it will be against Spurs. Spurs Stadium has been delayed again, and the talk is that if they don't get it sorted pretty soon, the Premier League will just tell them that they will have to play at Wembley for the rest of the season. So we could be playing our last game of the season at Wembley. So hopefully we are, and it's in the FA Cup final. But yeah, it possibly be against Spurs as well. The under-23s, they played last night. They beat Chelsea 2-0. They are top of Premier League 2, goals by Fraser Hornby and Sambo. Keep them top, but it's a couple of outgoings that are we need to talk about today. Ty Browning looks like he is leaving. Now, there's talk of him going on a loan, but he is out of contract in the summer, I believe. But Alan Myers has thrown a little one on Twitter out there today saying he's going to China, which would be a very, very interesting move for the young lad. Obviously, a lot of money in China. I'm not sure whether this will be a deal where he would obviously earn a lot of money, but there's talk of him going to China from Alan Myers, who's normally got pretty good sources. The player who played 7 times for Everton, or has played 7 times for Everton, obviously came on in that famous derby draw. Yeah, famous derby draw because of Phil Jagielka's goal at the end, and then played at Old Trafford, I think, the week after, and played all right in both games. Yeah, he's been on loan at the likes of Sunderland and Preston, and obviously was there last season with Sunderland, and I think you just seen him in the background on that documentary. So possibly going to China. Interesting move. Brendan Galloway as well. There's talk of him going out on loan, but he's injured at the moment, and David Unsworth said last night that he mightn't be back in time to sort a loan out. Now, he's another one, obviously on loan at Sunderland last season as well. Went on loan at West Brom, and his career has completely just stopped, hasn't it? Played 17 times for Everton, played a lot of games at left back. I think his last game, or one of his last games, was when we were beaten by Stoke 4-3. Yeah, a mad game, which sort of spelt the end for Roberto Martinez for a lot of people, just by the absolute gung-ho defending. Well, he had a pretty torrid time that game, and really hasn't recovered. Went to West Brom, never did anything there. Went to Sunderland, never really did anything there. And it just shows you that two promising players like those two players, if you don't get their careers right, if you maybe send them on to the wrong clubs on loan, nothing's a sure thing. A lot of people are clamouring for some Everton players to go out on loan, the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which I don't get, the likes of Tom Davies, but it's not always a good thing. It doesn't always mean they come back, ready to go because they've played a few games. Sometimes they lose their way because the clubs that have got them are in an absolute mess or don't use them the right way, and this shows how important it is to get it right when they go on loan. So we'll wait and see on those two players. Another player who's currently on loan as well is Joe Williams. He is at Bolton. There's been a few problems at Bolton recently with players on loan. Players that were set to sign actually that were on loan, and they've had to go back to their parent clubs because of lack of payments. Well, Joe's currently injured, and apparently there was some interest from Bristol City for him, but the manager there, Phil Parkinson, has said that Everton has said that he won't be leaving Everton anytime soon, and he will continue on loan at Bolton for the time being. So Everton obviously think that at this time he has a future at Everton, so he will not be sold anytime soon. That's what they've said as well. So that's one. And another one today, the bookies are saying that the 80% of the bets in the last 24 hours for James McCarthy to leave Everton have been to Celtic. Obviously his boyhood club. He's been seen a few times while at Everton in the crowd at some Celtic games. Now I don't know whether they're talking about a loan deal or a permanent deal. He was obviously on the bench a couple of weeks ago in the FA Cup. He never got on because of the way the game was. But 80% of the bets have been him to go to Celtic. Now, if it was a loan move, great. I wouldn't want to see James McCarthy leave the club just yet. But Everton will obviously know the condition of the player. He apparently he's been ready to play for the last month or so, but the manager hasn't really included him in any of the squads, so they'll know him better than anyone. They'll know whether he's the right fit, whether he's part of the future. Yeah, Celtic, it'd be a dream for him. I know obviously Celtic are trying to build up their squad a bit with Rangers bringing in a few players in the window, and it obviously being very tight up there. They don't want to... it'd be a massive thing if Rangers were to win the league. A much embarrassing situation for old Brendan there. So James McCarthy could be going to Celtic. We'll wait and see. The bookies, they're sometimes wrong, aren't they? But when there's a flurry of bets like that and there's no real link to it anywhere, then it sounds like a few people know what's going on. So there you have it. They have been today's Everton news headlines. Thanks for joining us on the Everton News Daily. Make sure to check out all our videos if you're on Patreon. Check out today's Tuesday topic. It is fantastic. It addresses the situation with fans and the atmosphere at Goodison Park. You will not want to miss that. It is very, very good. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the bell for alerts. And join us on Patreon if you want to go and check out that Tuesday topic. It's excellent. I'll see you later.